Picture this. A recording studio somewhere far, far away.
Welcome, Watchers of Illusion, to my Castle of Confusion. It's a Saturday review. What's that about? Well, I thought I would try and get something done over the last couple of days, but unfortunately, life got in the way. So I'm looking at, I think this is our first PC Engine review. So yes, I think it was called the TurboGrafx 16, but this is Batman from Sunsoft. You remember them? They did Batman on the NES, and it was rather good. So I'm looking at it from a different perspective here. Now, apparently originally this game was going to be a side-scrolling platformer, like the Super Nintendo and the Genesis versions. But for some unknown reason, they resorted to this, which is kind of like a Pac-Man maze game, mixed in with like Bomberman, that sort of thing. It's actually quite good. But we'll move on to the specifics in a bit. But yes, this was only released in Japan as well, which is very strange. It was due to have a worldwide release, I believe, but unfortunately, for some whatever reason, Japan were the ones that got the game in the end. Anyway, you can see here that you've got the upgrade system of Bomberman, where you can upgrade Batman's abilities. Like when you first start out, as you saw earlier on, you could only throw one Batarang, and it was incredibly slow, but you can upgrade these abilities as you go along. Now, there's a bomb on the screen. Don't be confused with Bomberman. It's going to do this. Oh, yeah! Explodes them all. And yes, I have a little go at this earlier on, just to see if this was a game I wanted to bring to you guys today, and it was. So, lucky you. Anyway, absolutely fun. And it is fun. Strangely enough, very much enjoying this. So let's have a look at the UI anyway. So you've got your score in the top left, time in the top right. Bottom left is your lives, and the bottom right is how many objects you've got left to collect. Now, this was actually based on the 1989 Tim Burton Batman movie, and basically what we're doing is we're going around the map and we are trying to secure the Smilex components. Remember Smilex from the movie? You should do, it was a main plot point. If you haven't seen Batman 1989, well, I've got no words for you except for go and watch it, because it's bloody fantastic. Michael Keaton, one of the best Batmans, in my humble opinion, to ever grace the silver screen. Anyway, you've got these different sorts of mimes and mimics here as well. Each ones have sort of a different progression. So the grey dudes walk around quite normally. Excuse me if I cough, I do apologise. But yes, the green ones, however, if they see you, they suddenly turn into Roadrunner, and they'll absolutely steam towards you and try and plough into you. Now, I think that's quite cool though, because you've now got added extras to watch out for in the game, which is nice. Now, the game is set into 4, I believe, stages, with 12 sections to each stage, so that's quite a lot of levels, really. Now, the PC Engine is something I've never really had a look at before, so I'm actually quite impressed. And by the way, guys, just to give you a quick heads up, I'm looking at doing Fighting Week next week, which will include Street Fighter on the PC Engine. Ooh, something to look forward to! I hear you cry. Yes, indeed. As if any episode of this show shouldn't be looked forward to. You know what I mean. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a cracking Saturday so far. If you've just woken up, hello, welcome to the weekend, and we're looking at Batman. Batman on the PC Engine. Oopsie daisy. So Batman can get concussed, apparently. However, the upgrades you get do tend to carry across from level to level. Sorry, guys. I have a little bit of a difficulty in clearing my throat at the moment. But never mind. So yeah, once you've collected all of the things that you need to get, then the stage will move to the next level, which is quite cool. Now, the whole Gotham City bit is collecting ingredients, and you get the Flugelheim Museum, and you also get Axis Chemicals, I believe, and then you get the Cathedral stage at the end. So lots of Batman goodies to go through. Yeah. Actually, this reminds me of one of the first Batman games ever to be released, which was sort of pseudo 3D, and you had to go around and collect bits of the Batmobile and get them together. That was released on the Spectrum Amstrad and MSX, I believe. So that's something else I have had on my list to do for a while. Maybe we should do a Batman week, although I have covered quite a few Batman games already. But yeah, you can't go wrong with Batman, can you? Especially when it's like this. So this is actually quite a good caliber game. Now the funny thing is that you can actually hear the soundtrack from the game. The different levels do have different soundtracks to them. And it's quite nice to actually hear the familiar sounds and songs and soundtracks from the NES version. So that even fuels the fire even further that this was going to be a side-scrolling platformer like the NES version. Because the soundtrack's there. Bit of an odd choice to do this, but you know what? Maybe they just thought, well, there's too many platformer games already. Let's try something different. Who knows? Well, I don't think we'll ever get the answer to that question now, but you know, I'm actually enjoying this game, and that for me is the key point in any game that we play. It has to be fun, it has to be enjoyable, it has to give you at least a little bit of a smile. Now, Batman does have also these invincibility pills that you can take. Oh, they're not pills, are they? But you know what I mean. The controls are very, very easy. So you've got up, down, left, right, and you've got fire. And that's it, really. Nothing more, nothing less. Really, really simple control scheme. But then, you know, the PC Engine only had 2 buttons and start and select, essentially. But they called it run. Select and run. Got to be a bit different, haven't they? But yeah, this was called the Turbo Graphics 16 across the pond. It was a PC Engine in Europe. Not sure why it was called that, but... Oh, it's a shame they can't get run over as well. That would be amazing. Never mind. So, yeah, that's it really. So you can throw your Batarang around the screen, and once they're stunned, you can then run into them. Oh, what game was it I played recently that had this sort of thing where you could stun them and run into them? It was one we had. One I've done recently. Oh yeah, Brick Rick. That's right. Same sort of concept to that, or the other way around. I'm losing lives like Billy-O here. So you notice now that the mimes now shoot as well. Well, some of them do, not all of them. But some of them have guns. Which idiot gave a clown a gun, I hear you cry? Well, that would be Sunsoft. There you go. So, yes, enjoyable so far. Now, the sound's good as well. So we've got a good soundtrack going on, which, you know, judging by the NES soundtrack on the Batman game, it doesn't surprise me at all. This is a fun game with a great soundtrack. And look, the graphics are actually really nice as well for its era. You will be blown away, I think, by some of the games I'm going to be bringing you over the time with this system. I was quite taken aback when I was going through some of the games that I was looking at potentially to bring you today. For all accounts, this was actually a very good system for arcade releases. So I'm going to be having a look at those as well. Obviously, one of those is coming in next week. So that's something to look forward to. Now, the good thing about this game is that it will keep you on your toes. Yes, it will, because there's lots and lots of things that you need to avoid. There's things that you need to see, like them. You need to avoid them. And it's not just the fact they walk around. It's the fact that you've got to avoid them while avoid being shot and run over and all sorts of other things too. However, I digress. It makes the levels more challenging, and I like that because from its appearances, it might look really easy, but once it starts ramping up its difficulty, you suddenly find that it's not quite as easy as you think. So, yes, I'm going to try and get to the museum actually and see if I can get you a little bit of footage from that as well. Playability-wise, this game is really good fun, and you will probably come back to this time and time again because, well, it's Batman, and it's a good Batman game. That one there I just picked up enables you to throw multiple Batarangs, by the way. Luckily, at the moment, the bullets travel quite slowly, so they are quite simple to get out of the way of. But don't take that for granted, because sometimes something will pop up that you need to get out of the way of, and you'll just walk straight into one. But, you know, that's all part of your investigating the levels, really. Now, you are against the clock, as you can see in the top right, so you've got to make sure you get everything done by then, or else you lose a life. Now, those green guys really, really, really love Batman, don't they? I think they're autograph hunters, yes. Now, I'm not sure about that one. I think I think that one is the speed at which Batman can throw his batarangs, because initially they're very, very slow, but then they speed up as you go along. Now, the one thing you've got to be careful of with this game, and it is one thing that I will mention, is that turning round while shooting doesn't really happen. So you've got to make sure that you're not stuck in a throwing your batarang loop while the enemies come up and kill you from behind. Yes, because that can happen. So be aware. Be aware. Now, it's a one-player game, as you can see. Not really any way they could have made it two-player, I don't think, without clustering the screen, and you'd have to really, really be cooperative to make the screen move in the direction you wanted it to. Now, they've put a safety barrier there, so Batman has to abide by the rules and use the pedestrian crossing with these trucks which seem to be incredibly fast. Are they the Joker's trucks? I think they might be. Either that or they're... what are they called? You know, the postage trucks. Not DHL, is it? No, it's the other one. UPS, something like that. Anyway, but yeah. So you've got to cross the road at the crossing points. Oh, I'm so sorry about this cough, everybody. But yeah, a lot of thought's gone into it. The levels are actually quite nice. They do ramp up in difficulty as you go, which is quite cool as well. So this game would be suitable for many, many age groups, which is even better. Do you know what? Even though it looks simplistic, give it a go. Don't be deceived, because it can be quite tricky. Once you've got the hang of where things are and how to get to them, you know, things become a little bit more second nature to you, but you've still got things to look out for. So you see here you've got these two guys. Well, you might have had a green guy as well, which would have just completely thrown a spanner in the works and come and demolished you from the side. So respawns are quite quick as well, so you've got to be on the ball with those, because you might be trying to cross the road and then some guy will respawn right next to you and just walk straight into you, which is very rude, but it does happen. It's worth picking up the extras, even if... Oh, this one is just full of green dudes. Great. Because I do believe they give you points. So you've got your score continually going up there because of things that I'm doing, which is nice. I think the longer you stay... Does that actually stop moving? I'm not sure it does. But the score doesn't really matter. A bit like... Wow. No, it's gone. Completely gone out of my head. I was gonna say something witty then, and it just completely went out of my head. Oh well, never mind. But yeah, lots of these green dudes to contend with. They are turbocharged. I like the fact that once you've cleared one part of the screen, it will tell you where to go next, which is always nice. So you're not ever sort of lost, but it does throw you for 6 every now and again. Now I think we're coming up to the end of this this level anyway, so hopefully I'll get to show you a little bit of the museum before we call it time on this review. But you know, I've really, really enjoyed this, I've got to tell you. And you can probably tell that from the enthusiasm I'm portraying when I'm actually doing this. So yes, but you know, Batman games, most of them are good. Most of them are good. Some of them are very good. Some of them are a bit meh. Batman and Robin Arcade, I'm looking at you. And on the PSX, yes, that was a pants conversion. Maybe the dungeon needs to reopen its doors. Now you can see here that we've now got arrows on the floor. Let's step on one and see what happens. Oh, hey! I'm flying or floating or using the bat rope or something. So these are your sort of joining things to get around the levels, which that's quite nice. I like that idea. So he's using his bat rope to get to various different places in the level. Very nicely done. So, pretty much, you know, I'm going to say that this game is all ages, so give it a go. Give it a go. You know, what have you got to lose? Nothing, because it's Batman! And it's a bloody good game, and it's on the PC Engine, alright? So there you go. I think that's about it for me today. I hope you've enjoyed this review. I've really enjoyed playing it and bringing this to you because it's a system that we haven't used yet. So here we go. A first for the channel on many, many levels. So there we go. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your weekend, folks. I'll be back next week with the first instalment of our Beat-em-ups week. And boy, have I got a concoction of goodies for you going through the week. But please, stay tuned. Click that little notification bell so you don't miss any reviews coming your way. And I will catch you again very, very soon. Until then, My name's Rich, this has been the Retro Revival Show. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon. And as always, it's bye for now. Ta-ta!
Incoming transmission.